The humans were small, fragile, and untested. At least, that was what the galaxy believed. In the council chambers of the Galactic Union, alien species from many worlds spoke in deep, strange voices, discussing humans as if they were an amusing curiosity. John Carter, a young human diplomat, stood among them, trying not to fidget. Beside him, Lisa Brown, a calm and clever woman, observed the meeting quietly. Both of them had been trained for this moment, but it was hard to feel prepared when everyone else seemed certain of their failure. "These humans," a tall, blue-skinned alien said, his eyes like shining stones, "are far too weak to take part in real military operations. They cannot survive on their own." His voice echoed in the chamber, and several aliens laughed. Some even made gestures to show how tiny humans were. John felt a heat rise in his chest, but he kept his expression neutral. He had learned that anger would not convince anyone. Only action could. Lisa leaned toward him. "Ignore them," she whispered. "They judge from stories, not from what they see." John nodded. He wanted to believe her, but it was difficult. These aliens controlled trade, borders, and war. Humans were, for now, minor players. Outside the council chamber, the human world of Earth orbited quietly. From space, it looked like a fragile blue pearl. Most alien maps barely even marked it. Human ships were smaller than the warships of the older races, their weapons less powerful, and their fleets far fewer. Even so, humans had survived. They had adapted to a world with violent storms, diseases, and hunger. They had learned to work together and to fight for survival. The galaxy did not see this. It only saw what humans lacked. A few days after the council meeting, reports came in. The Korvax Empire, a brutal and expanding species, had attacked a border colony. The colony was small, but its location was strategic. Alien commanders debated whether to send help. Most agreed the humans could not fight effectively. The humans on Earth, John and Lisa included, were offered support roles only. They could repair ships, supply weapons, and manage communications, nothing more. John felt a tight knot in his stomach. This was the moment humans had been waiting for, a real test. But the galaxy would not let them lead. Sergeant Alex Turner, a veteran human soldier, arrived at the staging area. He was tall, with short hair and eyes that missed nothing. Beside him were soldiers Ethan Ross, Claire White, and several others. They were all trained, strong, and ready, but their mission seemed meaningless to the aliens. Alex gathered them. "We may not be in charge," he said, "but we are here. Stay alert, watch each other, and be ready for anything." His voice was firm, steady. The soldiers nodded. They had trained for years for moments like this, even if the galaxy did not believe in them. The transport ships flew toward the colony. Inside, humans checked weapons, repaired systems, and mapped the terrain. They spoke quietly among themselves. Ethan looked out the window at the alien ships surrounding them. "Do you think they will notice us?" he asked. Claire shook her head. "They will notice us soon enough," she said. "And when they do, we show them what humans can do." John, observing the soldiers, felt a surge of pride. The humans were calm, prepared, and focused. Their strength was not in size or speed, but in heart, courage, and cleverness. As the transport approached the planet, reports came in. The Korvax had already begun to destroy the colony's defenses. Alien observers were ready to act, but their troops were slow. The humans watched the battle unfold from orbit. Lisa studied the patterns of the attack, noting weaknesses in the enemy formation. She spoke into her communicator, suggesting small maneuvers to protect the colony. Some aliens ignored her advice. Others reluctantly followed it. The humans worked in silence, confident in their understanding of strategy, timing, and adaptation. Suddenly, the colony transmitted a desperate signal. A Korvax strike team had landed, and they were moving quickly. The alien forces assigned to protect the colony were too few, too slow, or too frightened. The humans had no orders to fight, yet the call of duty was too strong to ignore. John, Lisa, and Alex exchanged glances. No words were needed. They knew that if they waited, the colony would fall. Humans never waited. On the ground, Alex led a small human team toward the attack site. Ethan, Claire, and 2 other soldiers moved carefully, scanning the environment. They knew the Korvax were larger and stronger, but they also knew their enemy would not expect human tactics. They used cover, moved in small, coordinated groups, and attacked at precise moments. Each strike was calculated, each movement designed to confuse and slow the enemy. The Korvax, thinking humans would panic, were shocked by the sudden, organized resistance. John coordinated from orbit, guiding the soldiers and keeping communications open. Lisa analyzed enemy patterns, predicting movements and calling out warnings. Even though they were humans, they seemed everywhere at once, combining intelligence, courage, and speed. The alien observers on orbit watched in disbelief. These humans were not weak. They were relentless. Hours passed. The colony's small forces held the line, aided by human strategy and skill. Alien troops began to notice the humans' impact. Some whispered in fear, others in amazement. The Korvax, used to overpowering any species, found themselves losing ground. The humans did not run, did not surrender, and did not panic. They fought with precision and courage. As night fell on the colony, the humans had achieved a small victory. The Korvax retreated from the immediate area, but they would return. Still, for the first time, the galaxy could see that humans were more than stories. They were capable, intelligent, and dangerous when they needed to be. John, Lisa, Alex, and their team stood together, tired but unbroken. They looked at the colony, at the alien forces, and at each other, knowing this was only the beginning. The next day, alien commanders held a meeting. They spoke quietly about humans, no longer dismissing them as weak. Some admitted surprise, others tried to rationalize it. "It is only one group," one alien said. "They might have been lucky." Another shook his head. "No," he said, "they planned, they adapted, and they fought like nothing I have seen before." John and Lisa watched from the control room. They understood the aliens' disbelief. It was the same disbelief humans had faced for centuries on their own planet. Humans had survived disasters, wars, and scarcity. They had done it not with size or power, but with determination, teamwork, and ingenuity. Now, in the eyes of the galaxy, humans would be tested again, but this time the myths of weakness had begun to crack. The sun rose over the colony, painting the damaged buildings with light. The humans moved through the streets, helping repair structures and treat the wounded. Alex checked his team, making sure everyone was ready for the next attack. Ethan joked quietly to lighten the tension. Claire laughed softly. Even John smiled, proud of the courage and skill around him. The Korvax would return stronger and more prepared. The humans knew this. Yet they also knew something the aliens had not yet seen. Humans never gave up. When cornered, humans fought. When counted out, humans adapted. When ignored, humans proved themselves. In the quiet moments between attacks, the humans shared stories, laughter, and determination. They were a small species, perhaps, but they carried the heart of warriors who could change the course of battles and, eventually, the galaxy itself. As the first part of the battle ended, the aliens began to whisper about the humans, whispers that would grow into stories. Stories that would grow into legends. And the humans, unaware of the myths they were beginning to inspire, prepared for the next wave, knowing that no one, not even the fiercest aliens, could break the spirit of a human ready to fight. The humans had held the colony through the night, but they knew the Korvax would not give up. The alien observers from the Galactic Union watched from orbit, still unsure how to react. They expected humans to falter, to panic, or to retreat. They were wrong. Alex Turner gathered his squad at first light. Ethan Ross, Claire White, and the others listened quietly as Alex spoke. "They will come back stronger," he said. "We will meet them and we will not break. Remember what we trained for. Use cover, stay in groups, watch each other, and think." Humans survive by thinking as well as fighting. His voice was calm but firm. The soldiers nodded. Each knew that fear could make even the strongest weak, but humans had a way of turning fear into focus. The Korvax attack began before noon. Ships descended from orbit, and ground troops moved quickly toward the colony. They were bigger, stronger, and armed with weapons designed to crush resistance. The humans, small in number, moved to meet them. John Carter stayed in the control center, coordinating communications and monitoring enemy movements. Lisa Brown worked beside him, analyzing the patterns of the Korvax. She noticed how they advanced in straight lines, relying on strength rather than strategy. She pointed to the screen. "They leave gaps here and here," she said. "If we can hit them in these spots, we slow them down." John nodded. He relayed the information to Alex on the ground. Alex led his team through narrow alleys and ruined buildings. They used cover to move closer without being seen. Ethan checked his weapon and whispered to Claire, "They are strong but slow. We can use that." Claire smiled. "Then we will be faster." As they reached a key junction, the Korvax forces spotted them. Massive claws swung, energy weapons fired, and the humans ducked, rolled, and returned fire. Their attacks were precise, aiming for weak points. The Korvax roared in surprise. They had expected humans to flee, but the humans fought with calm, skill, and courage. Each human protected the others, creating a moving shield of determination. John watched in orbit. Alien observers gasped at what they saw. Small human squads moved like one mind, each member covering the others, each attack calculated. The humans were not reckless. They were adaptive. When the Korvax tried to flank them, the humans shifted positions, creating traps and ambushes. One moment it looked like chaos. The next, humans were in perfect formation, striking hard. Lisa called out from the control room, "They are responding faster than expected. The Korvax are confused. Adjust the support drones to target their supply lines." John followed her instructions. Soon, small drones appeared, disrupting the Korvax reinforcements. Alien soldiers watching were stunned. Humans were not only fighting but thinking ahead. On the ground, Alex led a small team behind a destroyed building. They crouched low as a group of Korvax soldiers passed by. Ethan whispered, "Wait for it." Alex nodded. At the perfect moment, they attacked from the sides, disabling weapons and forcing the larger Korvax to retreat. Claire helped a wounded human soldier, keeping him safe while continuing to fire. The humans had a strange rhythm: fight, protect, move, strike again. It confused the Korvax, who relied only on brute force. The battle lasted hours. The colony shook under the fighting, but the humans never gave up. Alien observers started murmuring. Some admitted fear. Others tried to deny it, saying the humans were lucky. But luck did not explain how humans coordinated attacks, saved each other, and adapted in the middle of battle. As the day went on, the humans gained ground. They pushed the Korvax back from strategic points, cleared debris, and secured areas to prevent ambushes. John, watching from orbit, reported every movement to Lisa. Together, they predicted where the Korvax would strike next. The humans on the ground moved faster than the enemy expected, taking advantage of every weakness. A group of Korvax soldiers cornered a squad of humans near a supply depot. It seemed hopeless. The aliens assumed the humans would surrender. Instead, Alex yelled, "Cover me!" and charged. Ethan and Claire flanked the Korvax while Alex drew their attention. Humans attacked from all sides. The Korvax were taken by surprise. In minutes, the humans defeated the group, barely a scratch on their own team. Alien commanders watching had to blink to make sure they saw correctly. Humans had done what seemed impossible. As night approached, the humans set up defenses in the colony. They repaired walls, secured important buildings, and treated the wounded. Morale among human soldiers remained high. They talked quietly, joked, and shared stories. They understood that fear could be contagious, but so could courage. The humans chose courage. John and Lisa debriefed their team. "They will come back," Lisa said, "and we will be ready again." Alex nodded. He looked at his soldiers, proud. "We are humans," he said. "We survive. We fight, we protect each other. That is what we do." The soldiers smiled tiredly, knowing that each small victory counted. The next morning, the Korvax launched a massive attack. This time, they brought heavier weapons and more troops. Alien observers prepared to watch humans fail. They assumed that the humans were brave but would be crushed by numbers. They were wrong. Humans used clever tactics. They divided into small squads, striking in multiple places at once. Some humans lured the Korvax into traps. Others disabled heavy weapons. Alex, Ethan, and Claire moved like a single unit, communicating silently through hand signals and quick gestures. Every action had purpose. Every movement counted. John guided their movements from orbit, while Lisa calculated enemy weaknesses. They predicted where the Korvax would attack next, and humans were already there, ready. The Korvax roared in frustration. No matter how strong they were, humans kept finding ways to counter them. Alien observers could not believe it. Humans were supposed to be weak. Yet they were relentless. The battle stretched over hours. Humans used the terrain to their advantage. Ruined buildings became cover. Narrow streets became choke points. Traps slowed the enemy, making their strength less effective. Humans were smaller, yes, but they used speed, coordination, and intelligence to fight as one. As the sun began to set, the humans had pushed back the Korvax. The colony was damaged but intact. The humans had fewer soldiers than the enemy, but their losses were light compared to the Korvax. Alien commanders finally admitted what they had been seeing all day. Humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous. John and Lisa watched from orbit, proud. They knew humans had surprised the galaxy not by chance, but by design. Humans were strong in ways the aliens could not understand. They were strong because they worked together, thought quickly, and never gave up. Alex walked through the streets with his team, checking buildings and keeping watch. Ethan carried supplies. Claire helped a wounded civilian. Humans did not fight for power, but to protect others. That made them unpredictable and fearless. The Korvax expected fear, but humans showed none. As night fell, humans gathered in small groups. They shared stories of the day, laughed quietly, and planned for tomorrow. The colony would be attacked again. It was only a matter of time, but humans were ready. They had learned that even when outnumbered and outgunned, they could hold their ground. And the aliens had learned something too. Humans were not what they seemed. They were something more. Even alien observers whispered to each other. Some admitted fear. Some tried to rationalize it, but all agreed that humans were far more dangerous than anyone had believed. The small, fragile species that the galaxy laughed at had proven that heart, courage, and cleverness could overcome size and strength. John turned to Lisa. "They will not stop," he said, "and neither will we." Lisa nodded. She watched the humans on the ground, moving carefully through the colony, helping, fighting, surviving. "Humans are something else," she said softly. "They are impossible to break." As the night settled over the colony, the humans prepared for the next wave of the Korvax. They rested where they could, repaired weapons, and treated the wounded. Every human soldier knew that tomorrow would be another test. But for the first time, the galaxy had seen humans in battle, and the myth of weakness was shattered. The Korvax, frustrated and confused, began to regroup. They would not forget the humans they had faced. Reports would be sent to their leaders. Whispers of fear and respect would spread. Humans were no longer just a story, a minor species, or a curiosity. They were fighters, strategists, and protectors, and this was only the beginning of what the galaxy would see. Alex looked at his team, tired but unbroken. Ethan gave a small thumbs up. Claire smiled quietly. John and Lisa watched from orbit, proud of what humans had accomplished. Humans had shown the galaxy that they could fight, adapt, and survive. The Korvax attack was far from over, but the humans were ready. And as long as humans could fight together, no alien would ever underestimate them again. The humans had held the colony for 2 days, and the Korvax attacks had grown stronger. Alien observers in orbit whispered to each other, no longer mocking. Some looked at their own forces and worried. Humans were unpredictable, fast, and clever. They did not fight like other species. They fought with heart. On the ground, Alex Turner gathered his squad again. Ethan Ross, Claire White, and the others listened as he spoke. "They will push harder today," he said. "We must push back harder, watch each other, protect civilians. Every move matters." His voice was calm, steady, confident. Humans did not panic. They prepared. John Carter and Lisa Brown monitored the battlefield from orbit. They noticed patterns in the Korvax tactics that the aliens on the ground missed. Lisa pointed to a cluster of enemy forces. "They will try to trap the humans here," she said. "If we can warn them, we can turn the trap into an advantage." John relayed the warning to Alex. As the Korvax forces approached, humans moved quickly. Small squads took positions in ruined buildings, behind barricades, and in narrow streets. They used their knowledge of the terrain to control the battle. The Korvax, expecting humans to retreat or fight blindly, were confused. Humans attacked, defended, and adapted in ways the aliens had not seen. The first clash was sudden. A group of Korvax soldiers charged into a street where Ethan and Claire were positioned. The humans ducked, rolled, and returned fire with precise aim. Ethan used a trap he had set the night before. A barricade collapsed on the Korvax, slowing them. Claire flanked them from the side, hitting weak points. The Korvax roared in anger and surprise. Small numbers of humans were causing big damage. Alex led a strike team to a strategic point where Korvax reinforcements were arriving. He signaled the humans silently, and they moved as one. They attacked from multiple directions, confusing the Korvax. One soldier, Jenna, threw a small explosive that blocked the enemy path. Another, Mike, disabled heavy weapons. Humans worked together with a rhythm, each action protecting others, each strike precise. John watched from orbit, feeling pride. Alien observers whispered among themselves. Some admitted that humans were more than luck. They were smart, fast, and fearless. No alien force had moved like this before. Humans used their weaknesses, small size, low numbers, to their advantage, turning them into strengths. The Korvax regrouped and tried a different tactic. They sent a larger, stronger group to attack the colony center, hoping to break the humans in one blow. Humans anticipated this. Alex sent squads to block the path. Ethan set traps. Claire and Mike coordinated suppressing fire. Humans moved like a single organism, every member knowing the plan, every member protecting others. As the battle raged, civilians hid in shelters while humans fought around them. Humans never left anyone behind. They pulled wounded to safety, shared water and food, and kept morale high. Aliens watching were stunned. Humans fought not for conquest or power, but to protect others. This made them different, dangerous in ways brute strength could not measure. At one point, a squad of Korvax tried to flank the humans. Lisa noticed it from orbit and warned John, who relayed the information to Alex. Humans set up a counter-ambush. As the Korvax rounded the corner, they were met with coordinated fire from three sides. They stumbled, tried to retreat, and failed. Humans moved in quickly, disabling their weapons and forcing them back. Alien commanders gasped. Humans had turned a trap into a victory. Hours passed. Humans kept the colony secure, pushing back wave after wave of Korvax soldiers. John and Lisa worked together to guide the teams, analyzing enemy movements and predicting attacks. Humans used intelligence, courage, and teamwork to overcome strength and numbers. They moved quickly, thought faster, and adapted constantly. Some alien soldiers began asking to work with humans. They had seen humans fight and could not deny their skill. They did not trust humans fully, but they wanted to survive. Alien commanders were forced to admit that humans were exceptional. They had underestimated the small, fragile species and were paying the price. During a lull in fighting, Alex gathered his squad. "We have pushed them back," he said. "But they will try again. Tomorrow may be worse. Remember what we did today. We fight together. We adapt." "We survive." The soldiers nodded. They were tired, but spirits remained high. Humans did not give up. They rested only briefly, prepared for the next wave. That night, humans repaired barricades, checked weapons, and treated wounds. Civilians moved quietly through the streets, watching their protectors with hope. The humans shared quiet jokes and stories, keeping morale alive. They knew that courage could spread as easily as fear. Aliens watching were beginning to fear humans not for what they had done, but for what they could do next. The next morning, the Korvax launched a massive attack. Ships fired from orbit, and ground forces charged in overwhelming numbers. Alien observers expected humans to break. They did not. Humans had prepared. Alex divided his team into squads, each with a clear role. Ethan and Claire led small groups to hit supply lines. Others blocked choke points. Humans moved quickly, striking at weak spots and retreating before the Korvax could respond. John and Lisa guided movements from orbit. They predicted enemy attacks and communicated with humans on the ground. Humans adjusted instantly, moving to new positions, creating traps and countering attacks. The Korvax grew frustrated. Their strength was useless against humans who could adapt faster than they could strike. In one critical moment, a group of Korvax soldiers tried to destroy the colony's main supply depot. Humans intercepted them. Alex and his team moved like shadows through ruined streets, surprising the Korvax from unexpected directions. Ethan threw a device that disabled their weapons temporarily. Claire and Mike flanked them, striking precisely at weak points. Humans protected each other, moved quickly, and never hesitated. The Korvax were forced to retreat, stunned by the humans' skill and coordination. John looked at the screen and felt pride. Lisa smiled quietly. Humans were not just surviving. They were dominating in ways the aliens could not predict. Small size, fewer numbers, and limited weapons did not matter. Humans had courage, intelligence, and teamwork, which made them stronger than anyone had thought. As the battle continued, humans gained more ground. They pushed Korvax forces back, secured key areas, and protected civilians. Their losses were smaller than the enemy's, even though they faced overwhelming numbers. Alien observers whispered. Some admitted fear openly. Others tried to rationalize it. No explanation could cover it. Humans were extraordinary. By evening, the colony was still standing. Humans had held it not with brute strength, but with coordination, courage, and cleverness. Alex and his team walked through the streets, checking buildings and keeping watch. Ethan carried supplies. Claire helped civilians and treated minor injuries. Humans had fought all day and still had energy to protect others. John and Lisa watched from orbit. Humans had changed how the galaxy would see them. No longer would humans be considered weak or fragile. They were clever fighters, fearless protectors, and skilled strategists. The Korvax would not forget them, and the galaxy would take notice. The night settled over the colony. Humans rested where they could, repaired weapons, and shared quiet words. The Korvax would return stronger, but humans were ready. They had learned to anticipate, adapt, and fight together, and alien observers whispered among themselves. Humans were no longer a curiosity. Humans were a force. Alex gathered his squad for a final briefing before sleep. "We survived today because we worked together," he said. "We fought because we protect. Tomorrow will be another test. We must be ready. We are humans. We never give up." His words were simple, but the soldiers felt them deeply. Humans did not need grand speeches. They acted, and that action made them stronger than any words could. John and Lisa looked at the humans on the ground. Exhaustion was visible, but determination shone brighter. Humans were small, yes, and they faced enemies stronger and bigger, but they had something the Korvax could not understand: heart, courage, and the will to survive and protect others. Alien commanders and observers began to discuss humans differently. Some were fearful. Some were impressed. All agreed that humans were dangerous. Small and underestimated, humans had shown that intelligence, adaptability, and courage could overcome raw power. As night deepened, the humans slept, ate, and rested in small groups. They shared stories quietly, laughed softly, and planned for the next day. The galaxy watched, learning that humans were not to be underestimated. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors who could change the course of battles. The Korvax regrouped in the distance. They would attack again. They would bring more troops, stronger weapons, and new tactics, but humans were ready. They had learned to anticipate, adapt, and fight as one. The myth of weakness had been shattered. Humans had begun to prove that when they fought, they could become a force unlike any other in the galaxy. The whispers of fear and respect spread through the alien fleets. Some wanted to fight humans carefully. Others considered retreat. No one was sure what humans might do next. And the humans, unaware of the legends they were beginning to inspire, rested quietly, ready to face the next wave, ready to protect each other, and ready to prove that they were more than the galaxy had ever imagined. The humans had survived days of relentless attacks, and the Korvax were growing desperate. Alien observers watched from orbit, their disbelief turning into cautious respect. Humans were no longer a curiosity or a weak species. They were dangerous, intelligent, and unyielding. On the ground, Alex Turner gathered his squad for another briefing. Ethan Ross, Claire White, Jenna, Mike, and the others listened closely. "They will push harder than ever," Alex said. "But we are ready. Remember, we fight together. We protect each other. We adapt. We survive." His voice was calm, steady, and full of confidence. Humans never hesitated when others feared. Hesitation was weakness. Humans did not have that. John Carter and Lisa Brown observed from orbit. They analyzed the Korvax movements, predicted attack patterns, and communicated with humans on the ground. Lisa pointed to a cluster of enemy forces gathering near a supply depot. "They will try to take this position," she said. "If we can use it to our advantage, we can turn their strength against them." John relayed the instructions to Alex. Humans moved quickly to prepare traps, barricades, and ambush points. As the Korvax advanced, humans executed a plan that was precise and coordinated. Small squads moved through ruined buildings, striking at weak points, then disappearing before the enemy could respond. Ethan and Claire led a team to hit the enemy flank. Mike and Jenna blocked reinforcements. Alex coordinated the central push, keeping the humans moving like one unit. The Korvax roared in confusion. Their brute force was failing against humans who could think faster than they could react. The battle stretched through the day. Humans fought with skill, courage, and intelligence. They never left each other behind. When a squad member was injured, others moved quickly to protect and treat them. Civilians were kept safe, guided to shelters, and helped when needed. Alien observers began to take notes, shocked at how humans could fight and care at the same time. Humans were organized, adaptive, and fearless. They were a force unlike any the galaxy had seen. At one point, a large group of Korvax soldiers tried to trap a human squad in a narrow street. The aliens assumed humans would panic or surrender. Instead, Alex signaled Ethan and Claire. Humans moved silently, repositioning behind debris and walls. When the Korvax entered the trap, humans attacked from multiple sides. Explosions, precise fire, and quick maneuvers scattered the enemy. Humans had turned a potential defeat into a stunning victory. Alien commanders on orbit could not hide their astonishment. John and Lisa watched, coordinating support drones and communications. Humans on the ground moved with uncanny timing, predicting enemy actions and adapting instantly. Lisa noted, "They are thinking 3 moves ahead. The Korvax cannot match them." John nodded. "Humans are impossible to predict," he said quietly. "That is why they are dangerous." The Korvax, frustrated by repeated failures, launched a final, massive assault. They brought larger troops, stronger weapons, and advanced tactics. The humans prepared. They had learned from every attack. Alex divided squads to cover key points. Ethan and Claire set traps. Mike and Jenna managed supply and reinforcements. Humans were ready for anything. As the Korvax stormed the colony, humans moved in perfect coordination. Every squad knew its role, every soldier protected the others, and every strike had purpose. Humans attacked from unexpected angles, used terrain creatively, and defended civilians at all costs. Alien observers whispered in awe. Humans were not just fighters. They were strategists, protectors, and unstoppable when united during a critical moment. A massive Korvax unit breached a barricade. Humans reacted instantly. Ethan flanked from the side, Mike disabled heavy weapons, Claire covered civilians, and Alex led a counterattack. Humans moved as one, each action supporting the other. The Korvax were forced to retreat in confusion. Alien observers stared in disbelief. No species had ever adapted so quickly and fought so cohesively. John and Lisa coordinated the final phases of the battle from orbit. Humans were everywhere, moving with speed and intelligence. Lisa said quietly, "Humans are not just surviving, they are winning." John smiled. "They are rewriting the rules of combat," he said, "and no one expected it." As the sun began to set, the Korvax began to withdraw. Their losses were heavy, their morale shattered. Humans had held the colony and protected civilians. The battle had shown the galaxy that humans were not weak, fragile, or unprepared. Humans had proven they could fight, survive, and protect others in ways no alien species could match. Alex gathered his squad in the center of the colony. Ethan, Claire, Jenna, Mike, and the others were tired, covered in dust and minor injuries, but their eyes shone with pride. "We survived," Alex said. "We fought together, we protected each other, we adapted, we are humans. And we will keep protecting no matter what comes next." The squad nodded. Words were not needed. Humans acted, and their actions spoke louder than any speech. John and Lisa observed quietly. Humans had changed the way the galaxy would see them. Alien commanders whispered in respect and fear. Humans were small in number, yes, but their courage, intelligence, and unity made them unstoppable. The myth of weak humans was gone. In its place was a new truth. Humans were survivors, fighters, and protectors. As night fell, humans repaired structures, checked weapons, and helped the wounded. Civilians quietly thanked their protectors, seeing in humans a hope they had never felt before. Humans shared stories and quiet laughter, keeping morale high even in exhaustion. They had learned that courage spreads, that unity strengthens, and that even small beings can create great change. John looked at the colony from orbit. He thought about the humans below, fighting not for glory but for others. He thought about Alex, Ethan, Claire, and the rest. Humans had shown that determination, intelligence, and teamwork could overcome strength and numbers. Lisa joined him, smiling quietly. "They are legends in the making," she said. "The galaxy will remember this day." The Korvax regrouped far away, nursing wounds and counting losses. Their leaders began to send reports to the Galactic Union. Humans were no longer a species to dismiss. Humans were formidable, clever, and relentless. Alien observers whispered of fear and respect. Humans had changed the rules of engagement in the galaxy, and no one could deny it. The next morning, humans continued to fortify the colony and prepare for possible new attacks. They moved with precision, coordinating squads, securing civilians, and planning strategies. Every human knew the importance of each action. Even small victories mattered. Humans had survived overwhelming odds, and the galaxy had watched. John and Lisa briefed the human teams. "Today, you showed the galaxy what humans can do," Lisa said. "You proved that size, strength, and numbers are not everything. Courage, intelligence, and teamwork matter more." Alex listened, nodding. He knew humans did not fight for praise, but for survival and protection. The Galactic Union began to take notice. Species that once laughed at humans now spoke their names with caution. Human tactics, strategies, and courage became the subject of study. Some aliens sought to cooperate with humans, others feared facing them. Humans had not conquered by power or aggression, they had conquered by heart, skill, and unity. As days passed, humans helped repair the colony and support nearby settlements. They trained civilians to protect themselves. They shared knowledge with alien allies who had doubted them. Humans did not boast, they acted, and the galaxy watched, slowly understanding that humans were no longer ordinary. They were exceptional. John walked among the humans, proud of their courage and skill. Lisa joined him. They watched Alex and his squad helping civilians and coordinating defenses. Humans were tired but focused. They had proven that no matter how small or underestimated, humans could change the outcome of battles and even wars. Alien historians began to record events. They wrote about humans not as weak, fragile beings, but as fighters with heart and courage. The stories spread slowly at first, then faster. Whispers of respect became recognition, and recognition grew into legend. Humans were remembered not for size or strength, but for the courage to fight, protect, and survive when the odds were against them. The humans themselves did not notice the stories. They focused on the next task, the next defense, the next act of protection. They did not fight for glory, they fought for others, for survival, and for each other. And that was what made them unstoppable. As the sun set over the colony, humans gathered quietly. Alex looked at his team, smiling softly. Ethan, Claire, Jenna, Mike, and the others returned the smile. They were tired but strong. They had faced the greatest enemy they had yet seen, adapted, survived, and protected others. Humans were not just survivors, they were heroes. John and Lisa looked down from orbit one last time. Humans had changed the galaxy's perception forever. No longer would humans be considered weak. The galaxy would remember the courage, intelligence, and unity of a small species that refused to give up, that adapted, and that fought together when it mattered most. Humans were legends. And as the stars shone above the quiet colony, humans rested, ready to face whatever would come next. They had earned their place among the galaxy's greatest. The Korvax had learned their lesson. The alien observers had learned theirs. And the humans, unaware of the full extent of their new fame, prepared to continue protecting each other, surviving, and proving that when humans fought, they were unstoppable. The legend of humans had begun. Small, underestimated, and overlooked, they had become a symbol of courage, heart, and unbreakable will. The galaxy would never forget it. Aliens believed humans were weak, until they witnessed them in combat human heroics.